Hi guys, welcome to Bobsy Bounce. I'm Bobs.
I'm Bouncer.
Right guys, welcome back to our weekly segment, which is going to be like current affairs, what's trending and stuff like that. Today we've actually brought a guest into the studio. We've got Ronnie, big up man. Hello.
Yeah. After you're going to go for introduction here.
Don't introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Ronnie.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Right. No. So we're just going to discuss a couple of things. And obviously I want to get your input in this whole thing as well. So we're going to let's just get straight into it, right? Jeffrey Epstein. Okay.
Oh, Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh. Yeah, well, it is controversial, but at the same time, the reason I'm going to be talking about him, and we should be talking about him, is because more papers have been released, as we all know. Mm-hmm. More names have come out, more victims.
Yep.
Now, victims and the people that were on the flight and stuff like that. So now it's confirmed that you got like, what do you call it? What's his name? Bill Clinton, he was there.
Yep.
We've got Prince Andrew, he was there, definitely. Surprisingly, right? What's it called, man? The guy in the wheelchair.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. Stephen Hawking. Like, I'm just trying. No, I want to know, like, what do you think it was like?
You're like,
I'm gonna come. I'm going to come. Open your mouth. Please open your mouth.
Yeah. Right. But on a serious level, no, but you know something? You know a bit about Stephen Hawking, yeah? You know, the guy, he's had a very colourful relationship history, you know. So, like, he was married. He got married at the age of about 21 or something. He was quite young.
Yeah.
And then he was with his wife for about good 25 years. And then, obviously, he went into care. Then the carer, he had an affair with her. Left his wife, went with the carer. Then he was with her for a while. But then he left her as well for another carer before he passed away.
wait, how?
I don't know. Listen,
Well. Let's not go into the in and out.
How, guys? How?
Yeah, but anyway, Ronnie, what's your take on the whole Epstein thing? Like, obviously,
Well, do you know what? Right. I mean, some of the names were expected. Like,
Yeah.
the Clintons were expected to be on there, and obviously Prince Andrew was expected to be on there. But what my take on this is the fact that it's not just about people going to an island for, I don't know, like, to be with underage girls or whatever. I think it's more about to get control over people, those individuals who've gone to the island, really, and that's what it is. And like you mentioned, Prince Andrew, I think what they tried to do with him was, if they've got royalty on board, they've got a bit more power over it to say, okay, we've got such and such royal on board, or we'll get you connected to him. So they used a bit of a power trip with him, and then obviously it's politics as well, trying to get power over it.
it's funny you say that, because remember last time also we were saying on the podcast, I think we said that it's like a power thing, innit?
Yeah, like a power thing, yeah, like empowerment towards, like, the inferior, and then basically, like, for example, if they...
Like when you bought everything, you're doing everything.
You don't do everything, and then you just want to explore in other things.
Yeah.
Like kids, you know what I mean? Which is totally wrong, you know what I mean?
But guess what though? Guess what? Some other news has come out. So apparently, there's they haven't found the video footage, but there's documents which state that Epstein has actually videographic evidence of Clinton and what's his name, Prince Andrew, having an orgy with girls. So there kind of lies the question of, how did he die, or did he die, or what happened, or did he, bro, that guy had the people on the top tier,
Yeah.
literally by the cojones.
Exactly. So it's not really Epstein who was in power. I think it's the people above him got him into that position, and then they brought him into. Obviously, they gave him the money or whatever, the power, and that's how they got the people on board.
Yeah.
And if you look at Epstein's history, I think he was a professor, if I'm not wrong.
No, he was a maths teacher.
There we go.
To begin with, he was a maths teacher, and I think one of his students' parents was a very successful stockbroker, or owned like a bank or something. And then he was impressed by him, and then he worked. And Epstein even said it, because I didn't have a clue about stocks and shares.
Yeah.
But then obviously he moved in with the right circles.
Yeah.
And he got in there with the right people. Also, there's evidence of rituals that were done on Epstein Island, like an owl god or something, and like sacrifices and stuff, and they were doing. It's like basically like have you seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut? right?
know.
If you get the chance to watch that, right? It's very similar to that situation.
Yeah.
So they'll have like all these people that turn up, and in fact, it is that. I think it actually is that. So they're all wearing masks, similar to masks like you get like in
The purge mask.
no, like in Squid Game.
Oh yeah,
Right, yeah.
Those guys, not the people that work there, the big rich people that come.
Yeah.
Those kind of masks, but at the same time, they got lots of these women all over the place walking around and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're basically just doing their business with these
Yeah.
girls, and they're doing rituals at the same time.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that we're talking about.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It is. And I think what's happened is the fact that, let's go to Clinton's now, for example, right? I think when they were in politics initially, when they started, they were okay. They weren't exactly filthy rich, but by the time they came out of it, they were filthy rich, and they're still making a lot of money, obviously. And Hillary's still in politics at the moment. And if I'm not wrong, they're worth anything between like sort of $400 to $600 million.
Yeah.
And obviously, for a politician to do that, when I think their annual salary is probably like a couple $100,000.
On paper, it's supposed to be that much.
How the hell are you supposed to
Yeah,
get that
yeah,
rich?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like also, Michael Jackson's name was there as well on the list.
Yeah.
All right. So and there's actually evidence of, because a lot, I can't remember the lady's name who came out, who's basically exposed a lot of these people. But like she said, yeah, Michael Jackson was there, and obviously with his track record, right? We don't know if it's true or not, but like this kind of just kind of confirms everything a bit more type of thing. So yeah, that's one of the really interesting stories. I think this rabbit hole's gonna get even deeper yet.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
As more and more news is coming out, it's just going to get further and further into this.
It will. Yeah, it'll get deeper and deeper. However, will it affect any other people who were on the island? Will they get convicted of any sort? Basically, I don't think they'll get any convictions.
Well, if there's no evidence to prove that they actually done something there, they could be on the list. Like for example, who's it? Chris Tucker. He's on the list.
Yeah.
But is there any evidence that he's actually done something there? We don't know.
Yeah.
But I think unless there's no evidence, there's evidence, I don't think there will be action taken, towards it, because, I mean, it could be like they've gone for an orgy or something with like actors or something,
Yeah.
It don't necessarily mean they've done it with kids. So I think that's what
No, it's. Shall I be honest? With the Epstein thing, it's not more. It's not about the kid thing.
Yeah.
It actually is. It's not about the kid thing. I think there might have been a couple of underage, whatever. It wasn't about that. It was more to do with like just, what was going on the island. I mean, yeah, obviously there was the kids thing as well, maybe, yeah. But it was more about the women that were happening to. It was done without their permission, or whatever. In fact, excuse me. I think Clinton when they were talking about it to him, yeah. Or we want to talk a bit more about Epstein. Guess what the statement he comes out with? You need to be very careful about talking about him because he's passed away now. What the fuck are you on about? And what if he's passed away? If he's done wrong, he's done wrong.
Someone's done wrong. They're
Right?
done wrong.
You need to be very careful about this, because you might hurt somebody's sentiments. Nobody gives a fuck about his sentiments. If you've been literally taking these girls, right, to this island, and you've been abusing them, and you've been getting your mates to fucking join the party as well, I'm sorry, I don't care if you're dead.
Yeah.
In fact, one thing I'm gonna add to this is Bill Gates. Bill Gates took his wife to meet Epstein, and she gave an interview. Actually, it was a few years ago, but then it came to light again. And what she said was the fact that she was extremely disturbed by the whole experience with Epstein itself, and then that particular meeting led to their divorce as well at the same time. So what was Bill Gates doing there, and what was Melinda doing there, obviously? And then she obviously found something wrong, and then she divorced him. Like, you know what? I don't want anything to do with this fucker here. So yeah.
So quite clearly, there's something quite, sinister that happened at the Epstein Island, and like I said, it's all kind of unraveling now. Just very quickly before we move on to the next one, right? About his death. So apparently he committed suicide. Okay. Now there's a very, I think the guy who actually did the autopsy report, he goes, no way. He goes, that kind of a wound and those kind of that injury cannot be sustained by somebody who's actually hung themselves. It can only happen by somebody strangling him.
Yeah. I think there was another thing about it as well, the fact that the cameras in that particular area, they weren't working.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
And his cellmate were like convicted fucking, I don't know, like a rapist, murderer and everything, right? And they were like literally like a big, massive, huge guy as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's clearly not it's not suicide. I mean, how are you supposed to commit suicide in a cell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But-
the bed sheets, well.
Well, who knows? I mean, look.
how-
The people are going to be making up these excuses, and they're going to be planning this, right? They're going to think about it, how to do it. But obviously, they've kind of slipped up a little bit. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one. So Epstein, I'm quite happy that it's actually unraveling, and it's good to see what's going to happen in the weeks to come. You know,
Yeah.
it's going to get further and further, and that's going to be quite
Absolutely.
interesting. Yeah. The next thing we'll talk about is more kind of close to home. Our British news is about the post office.
That's quite tragic, actually.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I
So,
can't
give us a bit of a breakdown of what actually happened.
Well, so I can't remember the exact years, but I believe it's about over a decade. What's happened is postmasters.
So postmasters, the people that own the
they
post.
own the post office.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
run the post office.
Yeah, yeah.
That's who they are, and basically, obviously, post office is owned by the government, and it's run by the government practically. So what they did was they were saying to the postmasters the fact that you guys are stealing money. So postmasters got convicted of
But also explain that they only found out that they were stealing the money because they implemented a new software system called Horizon, I believe.
Yes, it was
Right.
Horizon,
Okay. So
yes.
a new system called Horizon got put into place.
Yep.
And this system was supposed to ease the job, so to speak.
Yep.
Right. So this Horizon software system was calculating the fact that money is being stolen by the postmasters.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what happened. And
So as a
then-
result, what happened with that then?
So basically, the bosses went to postmasters and said, "Look, your safe has a shortfall of X amount. You need to sort that out because you're taking the money.
You know what I mean? So like as in pay it
So
back.
pay it back, basically. Yeah. So what?
Was it a lot of money, by the way?
I mean, it was a lot of money because one particular case I heard was this is over time now. So initially, a woman went into debt by £9,000.
Yeah.
And then what she did to come out of that was remortgage her house to pay the 9,000 back to the post office. And after that, it doubled and then went up again. So
And despite these postmasters arguing their case, they were like, "No, our system is correct.
yep,
Okay, sorry, but you owe us this money. There's been a shortfall. There's somewhere there's been some kind of a leakage and money is going right. It's your responsibility because the post office belongs to you, right? Our system is not incorrect.
yep.
Yeah. So these people that own post offices were just paying, remortgaging the houses
Out of their own pocket.
Yeah.
And as a result, a few people committed suicide.
people committed suicide,
Three people committed suicide.
Yeah.
Then obviously mental health.
People got charged. People got convicted. They're in
Yes,
prison. Yeah.
there are a lot of convictions, and now, obviously, recently they just found out the fact that there's a glitch in the in the system,
In the software.
in
Yeah.
the software itself,
Horizon
which the
software.
government paid £1 billion for
Yeah.
at that time to use that system. So,
Yeah.
so when you think about it, if you got a few people, okay, maybe you have 10, 20 people doing it, you think, okay, that's fine, they're stealing money. But when you got hundreds of people across the country, not just in one place, this is happening.
It's a big
Are you
glitch.
not going to look
It's
at
a
it like,
big
hang on a
glitch,
minute,
isn't it? Yeah.
let's just investigate this, see what happens,
Yeah.
and then we'll take it from there. No, there was no investigation. Boom, you're a postmaster, you're wrong, you pay up.
You pay up, yes.
So I mean, how's that fair on?
And the worst thing is, right, you can't even argue because the post office is a government-owned company.
Yeah.
So who are you gonna like? Kind of, you can't really approach like a private individual or whatever. You have to go to war with the government.
Yep.
Right, which is even harder. So then people feel even more alienated. They're like, "Shit, man, I'm literally fighting against the government. They're accusing me of stealing money. I'm not. But what am I supposed to do? I need to keep earning money.
Yeah.
Right. So as a result, obviously. So where are we now up to date with this now?
Well, so now
Investigations being done now.
So now it's actually funny enough. It's actually the investigations open up on the back of a TV show on ITV.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the back of that, when people watched that, they were thinking, "Hang on a minute, there's something wrong here." So since then, it's come to light the fact that there was an issue with the system itself. So from there, obviously, the investigation getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The boss at the time, she was awarded CBE at the time.
Yeah.
And I think when she left the job, she got paid like a leaving bonus of like £2.5 million for doing a very shit job. And then, so after that, now she's just given her CBE back. I think it's earlier this week or last week it was, I think. So yeah, but now at that time it was whilst they were investigating, whilst all these people getting prosecuted, they asked for witnesses to come forward, and her name was on there at the time, but her name got taken off simply because it was a civil matter at that time. But now I'd like to think it's turned into a criminal matter because obviously a lot of people were convicted wrongly, and a lot of people lost their livelihood. They lost their lives, for God's sake. So now, I mean, how many people are you going to compensate, and how are you going to compensate them, especially the people who've lost their lives over this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of people I heard of, right, that like are suing the government or whatever. I think there's one case of about 3 million. There's a few cases. Personally, I think that this should be a very quick investigation. It should be like just turn around. Okay, you know what? We're going to pay you out because it's owned by the government. I think they are due this money back, and they are due a compensation.
Absolutely.
But I know for a fact it's going to get dragged. So
Yeah.
it's going to get dragged.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we know when it involves the government, it's not going to get done straight away.
Yeah.
It's probably people. I mean, some people have died since then. Not certainly suicide, but a lot of people have died since then as well. What about them?
Yeah.
And if they keep dragging it for another 3, 4, 5 years, a lot more people are going to die during that time. So, how are you going to compensate them because they've been living with that guilt of we've stolen that money where they haven't?
They haven't, yeah.
So you feel sorry for those people, and not just them,
fair,
it's the family, and then obviously their friends and family. They think they've stolen money.
Yeah,
They're
reputation,
guilty.
exactly.
So,
reputation's been tarnished as well. So it's not just a case of, because it doesn't affect just one thing. It affects their character.
Yes,
It affects everything because, like, if the government's pointing a finger at you, right, and they've got some sort of like evidence to prove that the fact that we've got this system over here and it's saying that you're stealing, right, and and then it comes out that you are according to the system, then everybody around you then they're going to be thinking, oh, this guy's a fucking thief.
Exactly. Yeah. And even since then, I think government's paying the company money for the software still as we speak.
Wow.
So they should have stopped that there and then. And when it comes to our government, they're just lazy because how do they impact that politician who's got them that contract?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, I mean, like, once again with the Epstein thing, it's going to be interesting because this is like a hot topic at the moment on the news, and I think it's going to be interesting to see where this story goes as well. Just lastly, we're going to just cover something. I know we were going to give like 10 minutes each section, but we will cover this a bit more. Just I want to talk about the escalating situation in Gaza and Palestine, Israel, the whole situation as well. I mean, I don't know what the death toll is at the moment. I think it's gone to over 22,000 or maybe 25,000. I'm not too sure.
30,
It's on 30,000. Wow. So it's still going crazy. Is there a ceasefire at the moment? I don't know.
They had a ceasefire for like, I think a couple of days, was it?
I think it was about 4 days.
4 days, and then now it's back to how it was.
Yeah. Well, okay. You know what? I'm going to be very open with this one, right? So I want your perspective. Now, the reason why I want your perspective, right, is this. Now, just to make the viewers understand. So, Ronnie, you're not actually a Muslim. Okay,
Nope.
You might look like one. Okay, right? You're actually rough, right?
Not all South Asians are Muslims. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
no, but you're from Pakistan.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, you came over in 2004 or something. You're from Pakistan, and obviously Pakistan has got quite a decent population of Muslims. Not Muslims, sorry, Christians. Yeah, Muslims. Yeah, but Christians as well, right? It's got quite a big population of Christians. So you're from a Christian background, and of course you are a Christian. So I want to have a kind of a. Because thing is, quite often when people talk about the Palestine situation, if you're talking to a Muslim, they're going to say, well, obviously they're going to support Palestine because there's Muslims living there, right? So I want a very unbiased opinion of yours regarding what is going on at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I think where people have probably gone a little bit wrong, again, this might get a bit controversial here from my opinion, but fuck it. It is what it is.
No, just be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest. Yeah.
So I think where we've gone wrong is the fact that we've turned it into a bit of a religious war.
Yeah.
And that's where we completely fucked it up. Okay, let's go to the beginning. Not 48, but last year.
Yeah.
So when it happened, at that time, it was from Israel's part. Okay, it was a fair thing to do for them to try to get the attackers who've attacked them.
Yeah.
Fine, got it. However, where I think they've gone wrong is the fact that they've gone for civilians. And it doesn't matter who you are, when innocent people die, doesn't matter who they are, men, women, children, everyone, when they die, it's just wrong on
Yeah.
any level. But I think what we need to understand is the fact that it's not just a religious war; it's more of a political war, and it's about power, and that's what the bigger game is. And the thing is, like at the moment, people are fighting like cats and dogs. Not in wherever's happening in Middle East. That's happening. However, closer to home, if I was to walk out with Israel flag, for example, I'll get jumped. Let's be honest. Yeah, and at the same time, if you go to a non-Asian area, or let's go with non-Muslim area, should we say? If you were walking with the Palestine flag, they'd probably get attacked. Yeah. So now we're fighting local with something that's in a way has got nothing to do with us. I get the fact that we're obviously we should be against the fact that innocent people are dying, but we shouldn't be fighting over here.
Yeah,
How
but,
do we work
you know,
together?
my question to you is this, right? Do you think so? Do you think that, you know, Israel's, you know, the response,
Yeah.
is it justified?
If you asked me that question in October, I would have said yes.
Yeah.
However, the way things are at the moment, I don't think it is.
Because obviously
Yeah.
we see the death toll,
Exactly.
right? You know, regardless to one person dying or 30,000 people, 25, it doesn't matter, right? Okay, any innocent life, this is my opinion, that's killed is I think is wrong.
Exactly.
Okay, so, and you know, people, you know, we're all seeing the videos and stuff like that. I'm not trying to put words in the mouth or thoughts into your head, but you know what's going on. You can see what's going
Yeah.
on, right? And I don't believe that like a 5-year-old is a terrorist. I don't believe like a 10-year-old is a terrorist.
No, that's absolutely that's where they've gone wrong. But the thing is, right, like you said, one innocent life that's been taken is wrong.
Yeah.
Never mind thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Re-
wrong.
regardless of what side
Regardless
it's
of
on.
what it is, which
Yeah.
side you're on, what religion you're on, it's an innocent person who's died, for God's sake. So yeah, so that's
So
wrong.
would you? Because look, the thing is, like, obviously, the Western world, they all say that Hamas are terrorists.
Yeah.
Okay. But then my question is this: okay, you know what? Why don't you tell me what, in your mind, what do you think is a terrorist? What do you think is a terrorist?
Well, a terrorist for me is someone who's just gone around and killing innocent people.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
let's just
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So has Hamas done that? Have they killed innocent people?
well, yeah. According to the news in October,
Yeah, they have.
They
Okay,
have at that
that's
time.
fine. Okay, so excuse me. If indeed they have done that, then they are terrorists. As simple as that. If they've taken any innocent lives, Hamas are terrorists.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So based on that logic and based on that description, what is Israel then?
Well, that's a very good question. The thing is, now it's the individuals who are in power. They're the terrorists. That's what my opinion.
So
is.
okay,
Because
but those
it's-
the individual in power,
Yeah.
where do they live?
yeah, Israel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in effect,
Yeah. So what?
so in effect, who's the terrorist?
Yeah. So in that sense, yeah, Israel's the terrorist.
Also
right?
terrorists.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So they're both terrorists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? But what I'm saying here is the fact that it's more of a political war rather than
Absolutely, it's a political war.
rather than a religious war.
And by the way,
And that's where-
and we were discussing this outside as
Yeah.
well, right? Like if you do want to bring religion into it, right? It's not about being anti-Semitic because these people are even Jew. They're not Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Zionists, yeah.
They're Zionists.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, have you got anything to add to this?
Yeah, so I think if Hamas are terrorists, if people saying Hamas,
They've been
terrorists,
labelled as terrorists.
they are being labelled as terrorists, right? Because if they have killed
Yeah.
innocent people, then I think IDF, the government, Israel government, are terrorists because
Yeah.
they've killed hundreds and thousands of
Yeah.
innocent children. You know what I mean? So I believe 100% they are. You know what I mean? So if it's just when I see videos on Instagram and stuff,
Yeah.
when I see children dying, I think because I don't see any Israeli kids dying. All I see is Palestinian kids dying
yeah.
on Instagram, on like Facebook and stuff like that. So, like you said, you've got kids as well. You know, how would you feel? You know?
Yeah. It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting.
Yeah.
Now, there's a very good Instagram page. There's a guy called Motaz. Okay, he is a journalist that's living in Gaza at the moment, and he's documenting everything. Right. Okay. So you said something about the green screen thing. Okay, I can categorically say those videos are not green screen.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, when you see a father crying. Okay. And I'll show you some of these videos.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to be beyond an Oscar-winning actor to be able to see that there's a father and he's looking for his kids.
Yeah.
And the way he's crying, I can't explain to you, Ronnie, how he's crying.
Yeah.
Right? It is literally like his world is finished.
Yeah.
His world is gone. And that's just one example. You've got in hospitals, you've got videos in hospital where you've got fathers, you've got mothers, okay, and crying. There's footage of bodies, okay, all kids in hospitals, okay. You've got mass burials being done.
Yeah.
All I'm telling you this year is real footage. You've got a point that yes, to some extent, maybe it can be manipulated, but also the numbers that are coming out from Israel themselves regarding how many bombs that they've chucked. You've got 2,000-pound bombs that have been chucked from airplanes as well. Okay, a 2,000-pound bomb. Okay, not money. I mean in weight. Okay, the amount of destruction that causes is on a crazy level.
Yeah. Do you know, with that one on the back of that, like, if it's coming from, like you said, a reliable source, someone who's on the ground, I would absolutely say, do you know what, that is true. But what I don't like doing is the fact that right now everyone's got a video upon their socials. So
I think what you're trying to say is that you don't listen to people blindly.
Exactly. So I want to do a bit of research before I say the fact that, okay, do you know what, so and so is wrong. I know the fact that there's innocent people dying, and that is categorically that is wrong on any level, regardless of who you are. Even if you're the most evil person in the world, that is still wrong. So but what I think is ultimately, it's not a religious war, it's a political war, and it's all about power in the region.
I mean, the next time that we do another like little podcast, I think we should discuss regarding the plans that Israel actually has for Gaza, and the reason why that region is actually being bombarded so much at the moment is only to make that region more stronger, but more stronger for Israel. Because of trade and stuff like that. How it can turn the GDP of Israel, it can give them an extra couple of $1 trillion.
Well, when you talk about that sort of money, obviously, things are going to change, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. It's going to come with its death toll, as we call it. And what do they call it? They call it, damage of the collateral nature.
Right. Obviously, what they want to do is they want to basically destroy Gaza, build a new economy, basically.
Gaza. Well, they want to make a route, to like export and import and stuff like that.
Well, one thing I'll say is the fact that, okay, before we start judging people, whether like between us or people in Israel or whatever, let's do a bit of research into it, right? If you're whatever religion you are, if you're Muslim, you're Christian, just look into it a little bit, okay, what the book is saying about it from a religious point of view, and then have an opinion about it. Whether the thing is, it's not about right now. It's not about right or wrong. All I'm saying is whether it's the fact that certain things are written is a prophecy, and they're getting fulfilled as well. So that's another aspect to it as well. Well,
if you're an Orthodox Jewish person, right, you are never supposed to be given a land. I know this for a fact. You are never supposed to be given an actual land of Israel. It's not in their destiny to actually have a land. That's if you're the believer of the Orthodox religion, right? If you're part of the Ashkenazi or the Zionist movement or whatever these, right, I don't think they have the same beliefs. It's just like Christians and Muslims. Even in Jewish people, they have different sects. With Christians, they have the Church of England. They have the obviously Protestants, same thing. They have the Catholics. They have the Methodists. They have the Jehovah's Witness. Same with Muslims. You've got the Shia. You've got the Sunni, and then the Deobandi, and the list goes on, right? Similarly with Judaism. So they also have different thoughts and different beliefs. But if you go to the actual Orthodox Jewish people, they're not even supposed to have that land. They're waiting for I can't remember, is it the Messiah or something to come, and that is not going to happen. I think if they have land or something, I'm not too sure. I'm sure people will correct me on this matter, right? But they're not actually supposed to have that land. So back to what you're saying, this isn't a religious war. This is a political thing. But it has gone too far, Ronnie.
It has.
It's gone too far.
It has.
It went too far when they killed the first innocent person.
It did,
right. And I'm not talking about on when it happened by Hamas. I'm talking about before that. Right. So obviously I know you're saying it's important to talk about from where this kind of escalated even further. But this has been going on for years.
Yeah.
Right. This you know, people are getting imprisoned. The Palestinian people are getting imprisoned. They're getting subjugated to such bad treatment. The people in the prisons. There's that lady that literally she's got to meet her son now. Again, a school teacher who's to teach in Israel. I can't remember the lady's name, unfortunately, but once again, if people can mention her name, I'd really appreciate it. And she, her car broke down on the border. An Israeli officer came, and I think a car actually caught fire.
Right.
And she was in the car. He didn't let her get out of the car. He kept a gun on her, and they kept her in the car. She's burnt her face, everything.
Yeah.
And then they put her in prison. They said, she was a car bomber. She didn't even do anything. Her car just caught fire, man. Her car is a shit car. They're in the Middle East. They haven't got MOT and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? The car caught fire. She's in the car. It caught fire. Her face is burnt. Her body got burnt. She got 3rd-degree burns all over. Then they've imprisoned her. Now I think eventually they've actually released her. Now she's managed to go back to her child.
Yeah.
And this is one case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
There's hundreds and thousands of cases like this. Right? So it kind of. I just think that the Palestinians are giving the short end of the straw. And I think it needs to stop.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of innocent people dying, or forget about dying, that's too far. Even getting hurt is a step too far. Yeah, when it comes to anyone who is trying to attack innocent people, they need to be stopped.
Just before we go, what's your response to how our beloved Prime Minister has dealt with the situation?
Well,
you can say he's a cock if you want.
Mr. Sunak, I've got. I mean, he's a dick, innit?
Yeah, there you go. We'll end on that, guy. We'll end on that. That's it. I thought you were going to go into a long speech.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, I thought you were going to try to justify that. Oh yeah, I think you're going to try to justify that. Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, what
he's a dick on multiple stages.
But what about on this specific issue?
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's got a backbone, has it?
Yeah.
So the thing is, if he had an opinion about the situation, purely just as a British Prime Minister, then that's fine, I'd say it. However, if everyone's just jumping on the bandwagon and say, okay, let's pick a side, then...
Yeah, that's what he's done, and it's basically just... It's a bit of a crowd pleaser, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is. And not a crowd pleaser, he's basically pleasing the people who are, the most powerful people, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, he's a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's. I think we should finish it there, guys. Rishi Sunak, you're a dick, and that's fine. We leave it on that one, guys. Thank you, love you, and leave you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel and like the video.
And like, share, subscribe.
Thank you, guys. Till next time.
It's Bob's Bounce.
Oh, by the way, sorry, Ronnie. Thanks for coming.
Ronnie, thanks for coming.
Really appreciate it.
Welcome.
This is a very spontaneous thing. He wasn't supposed to come, but he just turned up. So it's time. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it. So this is Bob's Bounce.
Signing out.